You're listening to episode number 1 with an introduction by Wayne Austrauskas and Alex Moore. Welcome to the Creatives Unite podcast, hosted by Alex Moore, former Hollywood actor and side hustle jeweler, and Wayne Austrauskas, former professional athlete turned apparel designer and maker. Each episode will bring you inspiring stories and advice from creative business owners and side hustlers from all over the globe. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, everyone watching. This is Wayne Austrauskas. I'm with my good friend here, Alex Moore. Say
Hey,
hello,
guys.
Alex.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. So we're here just to intro and talk about our new podcast that we came up with and wanted to put out called Creatives Unite. The Creatives Unite podcast. Call it what you will. So what's the point of our podcast, Alex? What is the value? Why would somebody want to watch us talk or listen to us?
So we came up with this idea to, one, learn more information ourselves about this journey that we're on of a side hustle / small business / creative outlet. And when we first started, there wasn't really much out there besides a few books, possibly. And our learning process has been on the way through different experiences and learning from other people. And we thought it'd be an awesome thing to put out there just to kind of learn more about other people and their businesses and what they do to help learn and kind of build on, maybe take some ideas that they use, but also like share their stories with people out there to help people that could be in our situation of what we were in, a few years ago when we first started. So that was kind of our main idea behind the podcast. And I'm pretty excited to get it going. And what about you, Wayne? What were your thoughts? Because I initially brought the idea to you, but you were kind of all on board straight from the start. So what was your thoughts?
You and I have, again, we're on a similar journey where we're doing side hustles, the creativity and trying to create an outlet. And how do you make more money? How do you grow a business doing this from having a job and a family and doing it on the side? And we're all sponges is one thing that I always am looking at for myself. Like, I don't care how old you are, how long you've been doing anything, whether it's been 20 years on a specific industry or you've been, a couple months on the job, like we all can learn from each other. I can't say no one knows more than anybody else, but I guess what I'm saying is that there's always something to learn from somebody. So somebody listening to our podcast is going to learn with us on different topics, whether it's, how to get better at marketing or pricing your product maybe, or, we'll see what type of topics we get into, but I think it's, we're sharing our story on our journey. You've had a lot of experience doing markets and selling for many years now. How many years has it been for you, just selling in general, do you think?
I've been in business for 8 years now, since 2012.
Okay.
But
8 years. Yeah.
Mainly with markets, in-person markets, about 5-6 years. Yeah.
Right.
Before that, selling online like Etsy and places like that.
And so I've been doing my Mystic Fern tie-dye, screen printing, t-shirt, apparel, etc. for about 3 years. And I had done some things before. My wife and I had a little embroidery shop on Etsy where we would make custom kids items with their names on it. It was very professional end product and learned a lot from that. But I think the idea is that, like, both of us want to do this full time eventually. And how do you do that as part of our overall question? We're curious. How do we flip it, and what does that look like, and when's the right time? And that time will tell. But talking to interesting people that have done it, or, hearing about how people started is one thing. I know that we've got a few guests lined up where they've got really interesting careers in what they're doing, and they're using their creativity, monetizing on their creativity. They understand who they are, and I'm sure they started in similar places that we did. And Yeah, man. I think it's just all about getting better, and that's the value that we're hoping to bring is everybody getting better together.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to, like you said, we have some cool guests lined up that we think that everybody will enjoy and especially learn from. And, same with us too, because some of the ones they've gotten to a stage in their process and their journey that we're looking to get to. But I also feel that
Yes.
we got a lot that we can share as well, so we're kind of not at the very beginning. We're kind of in that middle ground and moving higher and higher every day, really. You learn something new.
Yeah, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. And and it's funny you say that, because you're at a much different stage even than I am. I feel like and I know you feel like you're early on too, right? But like, I've been doing it, this particular Mystic Fern, I've been doing a shorter amount of time, but you've had a lot of success with, I think, worth noting, where you've been in a couple of publications just using your business as a example of not only like your business model, but also the success you've had. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, there was one year here recently, pre-COVID, where you made around $70,000 gross as your side hustle.
Probably not quite that, but yeah,
In the
decent.
ballpark. In the
Yeah,
ballpark.
yeah.
Rounding. Okay. So 50 to 70K. Is that
Yeah,
fair?
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember I remember listening to that. I've listened to
Yeah.
a few podcasts with you. So that's the number that popped into my head. But regardless, it shows that you could have a full-time career doing that, right?
Mhm.
Like, to some extent.
Yep.
And yeah, with that, man, it's about balancing your work-life balance and creating things on the side when you're not working. And how do you do that? Or what is the best way to make your most efficient use of your time and things like that, man? So those are all part of the process, right?
Yeah, and like you said too, is there's a lot of added stresses as well. A lot of added stress and taking on another business and stuff. So hopefully we can maybe dive into some things to help manage that thing too. Because yeah, if your mind's not in the right place, then it's hard to carry on and keep doing it too. So yeah, there's another way that we want to go as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, like yeah, I've been on a few different podcasts and stuff, which has been pretty cool. Um, one was basically a podcast where it was my story, not me talking, but I sent in my information and they used it for the Side Hustle School with
Mm-hmm.
Chris Gillibo, who's like you'll hear in my episode where you interview me, that he was kind of one of his first books was one of my motivators to get into the side hustle thing. So that was pretty special. And then
Mm-hmm.
my story is actually in one of his latest books called the 100 Side Hustles. Yeah, which is a pretty big honor, so to have him
Yeah.
include me in that. So he's kind
Congrats.
of been my one of my inspirations. So yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
like we said, we just want to be able to sponge things up and take things in and learn more as we can continue on, and hopefully be able to share some cool stories and help other people out as well.
And one cool thing about, I guess, at least for me personally, one great thing is just being able to talk to you a little bit more than we do, which we've been talking a lot more frequently here in the last, definitely this year.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
true.
So it's cool to catch up with you, but I think, us being childhood friends is a big piece of our chemistry and our friendship. And, we've got some other podcasts where we'll dive into more, who we are as people individually and our journeys, but music's a big piece of that, right? Like growing up together, especially really pre-internet, I like to say, like I think we're like first gen, or like that crossover, like millennial group where, the 81 born in 81s, where, we didn't have technology our whole childhood necessarily, but we did later, even though, like, I remember going through my 4-year university, I never checked my university email one time. And I
remember
not out of like some sort of, it was more like it just wasn't a full-time thing at that
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Right. Like,
And then you're like happy if you actually got an email. It's like, oh man, I got an email. Like, geez.
it's like junk mail.
Now it's
It's
like
usually,
you don't want
yeah.
as many emails. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
the internet age came available when we were about 15, I think 14, 15, 16. I remember we had to go to the remember we went to the library to like use the internet, looked
Some
up
people
like,
had it at their house, some didn't. It was dial up, but I think my point is that you know, we grew up together and
mm,
we've stayed friends and we've stayed in touch, and you know, hopefully this is entertaining as well to some degree, right?
yeah,
For
no, I think we got some funny stories ahead for people, especially in our podcast. But yeah, it'd be good to hear some interesting tales from some of our guests too. So yeah, looking
all right,
forward to it.
so
But
we're
anyways,
doing
yeah,
a 2020 COVID podcast startup here. Eventually, we won't be looking at your pillows in your bedroom or your extra bedroom there, right? Like, eventually, this will change to something different. We don't know what, but here we are, day one,
day one.
starting it out, right?
Yeah, guys, thanks for listening. So make sure you subscribe to the Creatives Unite podcast so you're the first in the world to hear the latest episodes when they come out. You can find us on all the podcast um, sources. Is that what you call it? I guess
Platforms,
platforms. Yeah, platforms.
including
Spotify,
YouTube.
Apple Podcasts. We'll have a YouTube. The video will be on YouTube, so subscribe there as well. And you can find us on Instagram at creatives.unite @creatives.unite for Instagram. Hit us up there. And anything you want to add, Wayne?
Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Wayne. And yeah, thanks everybody. And we'll see you in the next episode. We'll talk to you later.